This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm delighted to be joined from across the pond this evening with Hector Tanajara. Hector, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
A pleasure. Now, you've been preparing for a fight date. You finally got that fight date. Let's talk about that first. Have you been managing to prepare for a fight during lockdown? I'm guessing having all those guys around the Robert Garcia gym has proved very beneficial at a time like this.
Yes, sir. Very beneficial. Even, I don't think much has changed. We have the camp here, the camp house here. The gym is in the backyard, so we always do all our training here, and we've been doing all our strength conditioning here. So nothing much has changed, and we're just ready to get this fight going July 24th.
It's quite unique for you guys because a lot of boxers have haven't been training on their own, motivating themselves. You've still got access to world-class spar, and I see you be doing rounds of Virgil Ortiz. How beneficial is that for yourself to be in that bubble and to have been able to spar for the last few months while everyone else is sort of trying to do their own thing?
Yeah, very beneficial. This is the best work you could get. Sparring guys like Virgil Ortiz. The best prospect out right now. A lot of other stablemates that we have. Nothing but great fighters. So it's been very beneficial and helping me for this camp.
Boxing is slowly coming back. We've had a few shows out there in the States. The UK is starting to come back. We were back last week too. You're back on July 24th against Gesta. We'll come on to him and the fight, but first and foremost, is it almost a relief to just have a fight date concrete in now?
Definitely, it's a relief, and I'm very happy to be opening up again for Golden Boy and the Zone, being the first card back. But yes, it's a relief, and just happy to be the first fight back for Golden Boy.
I spoke to Masito last week. He's a very experienced fighter, very motivated fighter. What do you expect him to bring to the table July 24th?
I expect him to bring it all. I expect him to bring it. Like you said, he's a very durable guy, a veteran in the game. I expect him to bring, his veteranship into it. Try to take me to later rounds, use all his tricks that he knows, all that experience. But I think I'm ready. This is probably the best camp I've had in my career, and I'm just ready to show it in this fight.
You've made no secret of your ambitions and about wanting to face the top guys. Is this the perfect last step for you to go in with an experienced guy like this before you start gunning for those top guys?
Definitely, I think so. After this fight, I think those doors should open up for me. Marcito, he's fought, for the world title. He's fought some great guys. So I think being a guy like this will move me to that next level to where I get a shot or fairly close to that happening.
With all those names there around you, and it's a very exciting time for your division, is it on your mind that this is a great fight to make a statement in, to sort of to capture the attention of the lightweight division right now?
Definitely, I think he's one of those guys that his name has been up there in those, in my weight class, and I think making a statement here will just open up everybody's eyes and hopefully give me an opportunity at one of those big names in my weight class.
Hector, well, we've got a bit of time today because it's the first time we've had you on our channel. I just want to talk a bit about your boxing background and how it all got started. So we'll go back to the very beginning. How old were you first laced up gloves, and why was that as well?
I was 11 when I first started boxing. I grew up watching boxing with my dad. Then, when I was old enough to go, he took me to the gym. After that, I just fell in love with it and started going every day. And, thanks to him, I'm at where I'm at, because he brought me into the sport and he was always pushing me, always supporting me, always behind me.
This is something I spoke to your good friend Joshua Franco about a couple of weeks ago before he won the world title. The influence of the father. With yourself, was it always destined to be boxing? Was that your sort of career path and your love for as long as you can remember?
Yeah, definitely. I think as soon as I started boxing, I wanted to become a world champion. I wanted to do it. That was my dream. I played other sports, but those other sports, I didn't think I had the chance that I did, like I do in boxing.
And growing up for you in San Antonio, what was that like? How would you describe that upbringing, and how did it change at all when boxing came in? Was that just a focus for you as an 11-year-old kid?
It was always a focus for me. I grew up on the west side of San Antonio, middle income family, so we always tried to help my parents. They always uh, tried to provide for us. Always went hard to, there was five of us, so they had to provide for all of us. They always everything was kind of always around, helping me get to tournaments and like that. They would make sacrifices to, pay for my tournaments and stuff like that. So growing up in San Antonio too, I think I had always a lot of the support of people. So I think that's helped me in my career too. Stay humble and stay focused on what I have and what my goals are.
You mentioned there your family worked hard to allow you to be able to go to these tournaments and, build a better life for yourself. How big a motivation does that remain for you as you get to this stage of your career where them lucrative fights are going to start coming?
Hmm. Oh, it's a big motivation. Everything I do is for my family. I want to, uh, you know, become big in the boxing world to be able to help and provide for my family, not just myself. So it's, one of my biggest motivations is my family.
One man I want to ask you about, I want to ask you about the influence of Robert Garcia. How long have you been working with him, and how do you sum up as well what he's done for you as both a fighter and as a person?
It's been working with him like 5 years now, a little before I turned pro. So, I owe a lot to Robert Garcia too. He's the one that got me signed. He's the one that scouted me and brought me to California. He's opened up a lot of doors for me. He's helped me, um, not just in boxing but in life. Focus on the things that I have to do. He's always telling us to be smart with our money. Save and invest into something. Because boxing isn't forever. So I'm very happy and blessed to be in the hands of Robert Garcia, and I owe a lot to him.
What's that like as a young man, sort of with big aspirations, to be spotted by Robert Garcia and him to come in and take you on board, train you, get your professional deal, help you set yourself up for life? What's that like for you at that young age?
Oh man, it's a blessing. I felt honored. Felt blessed to be in this position. Not too many people get this opportunity, and I feel like a part of his family. Because he cares for us not only as boxers but as as people. So it was a blessing and an honor, and motivation at the same time to do all the all the hard work and everything to be able to accomplish my goals.
We touched on your good friend Joshua Franco earlier in this. We'll come back to him. It's only fair. He won the WBA regular title a couple of weeks ago upon boxing's return.
Yeah.
He was an underdog going into the fight. Turned a few heads with that result. I'm guessing that didn't come as a surprise to you.
Oh no, definitely that didn't come as a surprise to me. I always told Josh, he was my favorite fighter. I always looked up to him, and it wasn't a surprise to me. I was here the whole training camp he had, so I seen the work he put in. He was in the best shape of his life. He looked like he could have kept going a few more rounds, and he was only getting more confident as the fight kept going. So, it was a real happy and emotional day for me seeing him, become world champion and accomplish that goal.
Does that spur you on, seeing someone you've known for a long time, someone from San Antonio, go on and achieve his dream, knowing that that could be you in the very near future?
Oh, definitely that motivated me. Like I said, I saw the whole training camp. We turned pro together, and I've known him since we were kids. So I kind of seen the whole journey. So I know, I do the same thing. I put in the same work. I'm right there. I'm knocking on the door of accomplishing that myself.
I want to ask you about a couple of things away from yourself as well, Hector. You were actually mentioned as an opponent for Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is someone you've been very vocal about and said you'd happily take that fight tomorrow. We understand he will be facing Luke Campbell, a fighter from over here for the WBC interim. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that fight. How do you see it playing out? Who wins and why?
They're both great fighters. Luke Campbell is a gold medalist himself. He has a lot of experience. He's probably seen a lot of styles in there, and he put up a great fight against Lomachenko. I also think Ryan's a great fighter. I just think it makes for a great fight. I don't know how. I think it's 50-50. We just have to wait to see uh, until the fight happens how it unfolds.
Given they're both DAZN fighters and you're sort of looking for your route towards a big fight, do you think you'll be making a serious push for the winner of that fight? And do you think you've got a case for the winner of that fight?
I think after this fight, I think people will see and they'll know. I think definitely for sure after this fight, some doors will open up for me. Hopefully after this fight, I get one of those big fights, or anyone with a big name or a belt in my division.
I found it interesting. I was reading an interview of yours, Hector, from a few months ago when you were asked about the top dogs around you at the lightweight division right now. You said of all those big names up there right now, Devin Haney is probably the most beatable. I was just wondering if you could sort of explain to me why you believe that is out of all those guys.
Well, I think he's a great fighter too, but I just think my style specifically, poses a lot of problems for him. I'm taller guy, longer reach, so I think I just pose a lot of problems for him, and I think I beat him.
And another fight I want to get your thoughts on, Hector. It looks like it's going to be rearranged for the quite near future. Lomachenko Lopez. We've all been looking forward to that huge fight for the lightweight division. How much of a chance do you give Lopez in that fight, given he is the underdog? But a lot of people really seeing him as a live dog in that fight, and he could stun Lomachenko. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I give him a good chance in that fight. He's a great fighter himself. He has good power, and like you said, he's a live dog in that fight. It's not no easy fight. I think he could surprise someone. A lot of people, if he catches Lomachenko and he could finish him, he's a good finisher. But I just think Lomachenko has too much experience right now at this level.
We'll finish with yourself, Hector. When you sort of envisage what's going to come in the years to come, in the professional ranks, you've got so much time ahead of you. What is the end goal for you? What would you be happy to achieve in your career where you can finally stop and say, that's enough for me?
I think become a world champion, not just once. I want to do it multiple times, to where people know my name in the boxing world, and I become one of the San Antonio boxing legends.
And I'll leave the final word to you, July 24th. We see you back in the ring. What do we see from yourself against Masito Gesta? What can the fans expect?
I think the fans can expect, the best Hector Tanajara that's ever been. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm only getting better. I think it's been showing every fight. So I think that they can expect, a great fight between me and Masito Gesta and the best Hector Tanajara.
Hector, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me this morning. Evening for me, morning for you. All the best with training. I'm sure we'll catch you after the fight, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.